Welcome to Mysteries, Myths, and Legends. I'm Taylor.
I'm Savannah.
And welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Happy birthday, Taylor, for the second time.
Happy birthday, round two.
Kind of. Because over the weekend, we are going to celebrate Taylor's birthday. Yay, live and in person.
Yay! I'm so excited. We are, by the time you guys hear this, this will all have already happened. So, that's exciting for us. We're going to Bald Head, and basically all I want to do, all day, any day, is drive a golf cart. And so for my birthday, I was like, let's go to this island and pretend that we're rich and drive golf carts around. So that's what we're doing. And I'm very excited for that.
Yeah. I mean, we went last year and it was so fun. So I'm so excited.
So fun. We did, in fact, go on the hottest day of the year last year. So I'm hoping it's a little bit cooler this year.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm already prepared for it to be that hot again. Because it was really bad, but still fun. So,
it was still fun. But I think it was like the hottest my body has ever been.
Was it actually the hottest day of the year?
I'm pretty sure. Yes, it was.
Oh God.
It was so hot. Oh Lord. But
okay. Well, hopefully not.
Let's hope not.
I don't really have any other updates to bring to the table here.
No, me neither. Life's been boring, so.
Okay, well, I can connect our little Bald Head Island to my story that I'm starting, actually.
Oh, okay. So,
Bald Head Island might have a ghost on it.
Oh, okay.
So
I need to hear more about this.
I know, because... what if we see the ghost when we're on the island?
I really hope so. Like, I would love to come back and with the story for you guys.
I know, because this is, like, why I looked it up. Because I'm like, okay, we're about to be here. I know this area is probably haunted because I think a lot of the coast of North Carolina is because of, the pirates and all the stuff.
For sure.
And, so there is a ghost, and we will get there. But first of all, I want to say a little bit about Bald Head Island because, if you haven't been there, you probably don't really know much about it. I didn't know anything about it.
I had literally no idea what it was.
So it is in North Carolina. It's like the bottom corner, if that makes sense. And it is only accessible by ferry.
Yeah, or swimming, if you're a strong enough swimmer.
I mean, I guess so. Not really.
It'd be a long one.
It's like a 20-minute ferry.
Yeah, I'm saying it would be a long one.
I don't think you could swim.
In an emergency.
Maybe. But there actually is another way to get there.
Oh, what?
Yeah, but you're not allowed to take it.
Well,
there's a beach strand, so I guess like there's a connection somehow, but it's only travelable by 4-wheel drive, and it's only for government officials.
Oh, what? That's a little bit suspicious.
Well, I mean, if there's like an emergency or something,
I guess. I'm still suspicious, but I guess.
But because it's only accessible by ferry, there are no cars on the island, and everyone drives golf carts around. So that's why we said we were going to take golf carts.
It's my favorite thing. Guys, I literally need you to know that, so because there are literally no cars allowed on the island, like at all, everybody just drives these golf carts. So there are no garages, no real garages. Anyway, they have tiny baby garages for their little baby golf carts.
They do.
It's the cutest freaking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Honestly, if I ever get rich, I want a house on this island.
I swear to God, that's the first place I'm buying a house.
I know, yeah.
When I'm rich.
It's so cute. It's like a cute little place.
It's so cute. I love it.
Yeah. And also, okay, when I was doing research on this, I found out that the movie Weekend at Bernie's was filmed there.
What? No way.
Yeah, have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? That's like, they're at a beach the whole time. I didn't know, like, where it was filmed or anything. Wow. But apparently most of it was filmed at Bald Head Island.
That's so crazy. I did not know that.
Yeah, according to Wikipedia anyway. But that's, yeah. So I almost want to watch it again just to see.
No, we have to. We have to.
And also, I have a few more things about the island because I was, like, getting into it. I was like researching
Okay,
it.
tour guide, Savannah.
I know, I was like getting into all the facts and stuff. But do you know why it was named Bald Head Island?
No.
Because it looks like a bald head.
Wow. That's not what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I guess like when people were coming to the shore, they were like, there's not much vegetation, so it just looks bald.
Wow. That is so funny.
Hmm.
Also, the lighthouse there is called Old Baldy.
That's what I was, yeah, that's what I was just about to say too. I was about to bring up Old Baldy.
I love Old Baldy, bruh. He's my BFF.
Yeah, we'll post some pictures of Old Baldy.
Yeah,
because we'll be there. It's actually the oldest lighthouse still standing in North Carolina.
See, and that right there makes me just know it's haunted.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
Because lighthouses are always haunted, and the oldest in North Carolina, please, you know it's haunted.
Yeah. And it was built in 1817.
Oh, woo, that's crazy.
And actually, my story that I'm gonna get into was around 1812.
Okay, wait.
So
can I
before
also just
this was
say that my story is also in 1817?
Oh,
Weird.
well, so yours is like a few years after mine then, because mine it takes place in 1812.
Oh, I thought. Well, the lighthouse was built in 1817.
Yeah, and so the lighthouse was built after.
Got you.
The person I'm going to talk about became a ghost.
Got you.
So, unfortunately, they never got to, see the lighthouse. But
not Old Baldy. No, that's so sad.
And the last thing before I get into the actual story is that Steed and Blackbeard were here.
Stop! Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So, as you've heard in our previous episodes, we've had an episode on Steed Bonnet and then also Blackbeard.
Our two favorite pirates.
And yeah, we love them. We love the show, Our Flag Means Death.
Yes, we cannot promote it enough. Please go watch it.
I know. Yeah, but yeah, I'm pretty sure one of the islands in the show was based off of this, possibly.
No way.
I don't know, because apparently pirates frequented the island because there was an alcove that was easy to hide in.
Oh,
and that's where they would come out and attack the ships that went by.
Okay, I love that. This is making me even more excited to go this weekend.
I know. I was getting into the research because I was like, I love Bald Head Island now. Like, this place is great. Okay, so now I'm gonna get into my ghost story, but honestly, it takes place in a few different places, so it's a little bit confusing. It's not as much Bald Head Island as I thought it was gonna be.
Okay.
But I had to talk about it since we were gonna go.
Facts.
But yeah, let's just get into it. So I'm gonna talk about the ghost of Theodosia Burr.
Dear Theodosia. Okay, I'm not gonna sing any more of that, but Hamilton is my favorite musical.
Yeah,
that's not even true, but it's one of my favorite musicals. And okay, I'm just really excited.
And you know that I have not seen it. So.
You still haven't seen it?
No. I really should have before this.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, because if you don't know, Theodosia Burr was the daughter of Aaron Burr, who was Vice President of the United States.
Yeah, and Aaron Burr killed Hamilton.
Yes, that too.
Spoiler, sorry.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is his daughter, and she was also married to the governor of South Carolina, Joseph Alston.
That's so crazy.
Mm-hmm. And fun fact, their honeymoon was in Niagara Falls, and they were like the first couple to ever do that.
No way.
Yeah,
that's so crazy.
That's kind of crazy. It's like you would think. I mean, I guess somebody had to be the first.
Yeah, but that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, so he was the governor of South Carolina, so they lived there, in South Carolina. And they had a son, and they named him Aaron after her father.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because, she lived in South Carolina, and he was up in New York, and, or like up up north.
Yeah.
And she missed him, like, a lot. So she was like, I'm just going to name him after my father.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and she was raised to be, like, all high society and, like, you know, proper and stuff. So she was raising her son to be like that, too.
Oh. Okay.
And she loved him so much. Like, she was obsessed with her son. But unfortunately, he got sick with malaria
No.
at age 10 and died.
No. Rest in
Yes.
peace, Darren.
Yeah, so she was heartbroken after this, and it really affected her health for a while. So Theodosia, she was supposed to go and visit her father that July, so the July of 1812, but she was unable to because she was just so sick with grief and stuff over this. And so her trip was sort of postponed until she felt better, and that was like around December. So, you know, months later. So her trip was changed to December 31st of 1812. So I guess the last day of the year. And she was traveling all the way to New York to see her father by boat. And she boarded a ship called the Patriot. And, you know, during that time, you would think that a woman would have to be accompanied by somebody, right? Like,
yeah, a man. Roll
yeah.
his eyes.
Yeah, like she would have gone with her husband, but he had to stay in South Carolina because he's the governor, and also the War of 1812 was going on, so he couldn't leave the state.
Makes
He's
sense.
like, I gotta stay because I'm the governor. So her father's friend accompanied her on this journey. And his name was Timothy Green. Which is also like, I guess I get why you need to have somebody accompanying you, but it's like, can women just not do anything by themselves?
No, that's definitely what they thought. Like, they definitely thought women couldn't do anything by themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I understand danger, but it's way more dangerous now. I feel like.
I mean,
well, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, on the sea, it's probably, there are way more pirates.
Okay, yeah, I forgot about the pirate problem. We don't have that much today.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we have nearly as many problems at sea anymore, right?
Yeah, I would definitely agree.
Just like the weather, right? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are still pirates out there, but
yeah, you know, I don't go out there, so I really wouldn't know.
I don't know either. Not nearly as many though. Like I feel like there were so many.
Oh yeah, like daily. I feel like we would be hearing about some pirate lootings going on if they were happening.
Yes, exactly.
Like they would be on TikTok.
Yeah. So anyways, they left on December 31st, and unfortunately the ship never made it to New York.
No, Theodosia.
Yes. It was last seen off the coast of Nag's Head.
Oh, that just gave me chills.
Yeah.
That's where I go on vacation with my family.
If you don't know, Nag's Head is part of the Outer Banks.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit north of Bald Head Island, you know, above South Carolina. So like they made it a little bit.
They barely made it.
Yeah.
They had basically just left. That's so sad.
So this leads people to believe that pirates may have gotten the ship.
No.
At the time, as we were just saying, there were pirates in the area, especially in North Carolina waters. Like, North Carolina was just a hotspot for pirates.
That's
I think it's because of the ports, probably, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
It's a very popular port.
Yeah.
So there was like a group of pirates called the Carolina Bankers. I don't know if we've talked about this before, have we?
No, I don't think so. But I've heard of them. As I've mentioned before, in North Carolina, when you're growing up, you literally have a pirate section in school.
I wish I could have gotten that. That's so fun.
Yeah, it really was fun. And I honestly just assumed everybody had it.
I didn't even know that North Carolina was like a pirate place until
Yeah.
we started like
That's so crazy.
looking all this up. But yeah.
The pirates are in here. That's all I know.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, so the Carolina bankers, they would be on like the banks of the shore, right? So that's why they're called the bankers. And they would lure ships to the shoals, and then attack and steal from the ship, you know, pirate the ship, and murder the people on board.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah. They would get them to come closer to land with a light. And I guess, I don't really know what the idea there was. I think it was like they were pretending to be another ship or something and get them closer, and then they're like, they just come and steal from them instead.
Yeah.
And they would like get them to come closer with a light, and then the ship would get stuck in the banks. So then they couldn't get away, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, this makes me think maybe if Old Baldy was there, then they wouldn't have been able to do this.
Yeah. No, really though.
You know?
No.
Because that's what they were doing. They were like, I feel like they were pretending to be a lighthouse, and like,
That's exactly what they were
then
doing.
they see, and then yeah.
Wow.
They end up banking themselves instead. So yeah, Old Baldy was a little bit too late.
A little bit too late for this one.
So this is what they think happened to the Patriot, the ship that Theodosia was on. And a paper in South Carolina actually wrote about the Patriot being captured by pirates, and they said that like a noble woman was murdered.
No. Okay.
You know, which would be Theodosia, but this was never actually proven.
Oh.
So that was just like, they just heard that happened and they put it in the paper.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And there's also part of the legend saying that when she boarded the ship, she had a painting that she was going to bring her father, and it was a portrait of herself. Because she's like, you know, I'm going to be away, so
like he
Dad,
misses
you
me,
can
so
see, yeah, you can see my face. I mean, honestly, that's a good gift.
no, it is.
You know, for back in the day when you can't be FaceTiming.
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyways, she, like, part of the legend is that she had a painting. This hasn't been proven or anything, but I mean, I feel like I can believe that.
I'll believe it.
And Theodosia, the ghost of Theodosia, has been seen walking the shores looking for the painting so she can bring it to her father.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Wait, the shores of Bald Head Island?
Well, actually, this is the confusing part. She's been seen in two places. So she's been seen on Nag's Head walking the shores, because that's where they say that's where the ship was last seen, right?
Yeah.
But they also say that she can be seen on Bald Head Island for some reason.
That's interesting.
So I don't know why she's in two places at once. I think there's part of the legend that the painting could have either washed up on shore on Nag's Head or on Bald Head Island.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And, you know, the way it makes sense in my head is that, like, okay, so it washed up on Bald Head Island, and then her spirit's connected to it there, right?
Yeah.
And then her spirit's connected to Nag's Head because
that's where she died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that makes complete sense to me.
Yeah. But somebody did actually find a painting.
No way.
I couldn't really determine where they found it, because like it kept going back and forth. Like I just couldn't determine. It could have been Nag's Head or Bald Head Island. But a man supposedly found a painting in a shipwreck during the War of 1812.
Okay.
So that would have been the time, you know?
Yeah.
And he brought it home, and his wife saw it, and she swore that it was Theodosia Burr.
Oh, no way.
She was like, this definitely looks like her. But then she, like, she got, like, people to come by to look at it and everything, and, like, nobody can positively say that it's definitely her.
Okay,
But
but
I
does it
mean,
look anything like her? Like,
I saw the supposed painting,
okay.
and it does kind of look like her. But I mean, I guess I can't really tell either.
That's crazy. Well, I feel like it's probably her because, like, artists, they do their own rendition
Mm-hmm.
of, like,
Yeah,
what
that's
they,
true. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. So what they do with it? The painting.
Well, the story was that, like, they just hung it up in their house,
Okay.
and they, I think they ended up, like, selling it for something because, like, somebody owed someone money, and they're like, oh, just take this painting, it's probably worth a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's true.
It was something like that. But even Theodosia's sister was called and, like, came to look at it, and she couldn't even say that it was her.
Wow.
So I don't know, but, like, the picture does kind of does look like her.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So the last little part I have about Ghost Theodosia, she can be seen. So I already said she can be seen, like, walking up and down the shores trying to find her painting, but she can also be seen running along the shore with 3 headless pirates chasing after her.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of hope we see that.
Yeah, I know. And she's wearing an emerald green gown.
Tell me why that's exactly what I pictured her to be wearing.
Yeah, honestly true. She she can be seen, like, just all over the coast of North Carolina, pretty much. Like,
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think she just haunts, like, the whole coast almost.
I get it. I would do the same.
Yeah. And some say that she was made to walk the plank.
Oh.
She could have been made to walk the plank.
That makes sense, too. That's really sad. It's also really sad that you haven't seen Hamilton, so you can't even, like, appreciate this.
I know. I really should have. Because I would probably have more little things to say about it, but...
Yeah, for real. All that I do know is that I have been to Nag's Head a lot in my life, and I've walked the beach a lot there at night.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen no Theodosia. Not that I can recall.
Well, maybe she was hanging out at
Bald Head that day. Yeah, that's true.
And she also... People have also seen her in Cape Hatteras.
Well, I've stayed there too.
They've just seen her everywhere.
That's
so,
crazy.
Like,
I mean, that's all kind of basically, like, the same place.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah. That's just crazy. I just want to have an experience. And I feel like that island would be creepy at night.
I know. I was just thinking that. I was thinking because, like, we're going to be there during the day.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll see her because
No.
I have a feeling, like, nothing said this, but I have a feeling that she's only out at night, you know?
Yeah, I would have to assume so too. Now,
I
if we
want her
see
to
a
be out
lady
during
in
the
an
day.
emerald dress walking up to us on the beach on Saturday, I'm going to be a little bit freaked out.
I'm going to bring an emerald dress.
Okay, then I'll be a little bit freaked out.
I actually don't have one, so
Okay,
I
yeah,
can't.
I knew you weren't. That's funny.
But yeah, so that's the story of Theodosia Burr, and I don't know.
That's just a really sad story, honestly.
I know.
Wow. That's sad. I'm so excited to go. Okay, we will update you guys on if anything happens. I really hope something happens. It does give, like, creepy old vibes when you go.
I know it does.
Like, ooh, just, like, a little bit eerie. Like, if I was there at night, I would be totally freaked out. But that's why we have to buy a house there so we can see it at night.
Yes. I wish, oh my God, do you think there's an Airbnb that we could afford?
I've already looked, and I don't think so.
Oh, dang.
Like, not even that we could afford. Like, there's just not really any. Like, I think everybody that lives on the island are just, like, rich people who own the houses and stay there, like, 1 week of a year, you know?
Okay, but if you're going to stay there 1 week a year, then rent it out.
I know, but I feel like they're just that rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't need the extra. Which, that was my problem. That's all I know.
You know, someday we'll get to do it, and
Absolutely.
we'll go out and see Theodosia.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
I just don't want to see her being chased by 3 headless men.
Okay, but I just want to see 3 headless men, honestly.
You do want to see it? That seems scary.
Yeah, but from afar. Like, where I would feel safe.
No, you're right.
Because then I would believe, you know? Like,
True.
I want, like, solid evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, seeing a woman being chased by 3 headless men on the beach.
Yeah.
You know. But, anyways, I guess moving on from your story, I guess I'll just go ahead and get right into it. I have for you the legend of the Bell Witch. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, okay.
I know. So we're just going to jump right on into this. I'm just going to set the scene. We are in Robertson County, Tennessee in the early 1800s. Okay, so this guy, Farmer John Bell Sr., lived with his family along the Red River in this little town called Adams, Tennessee. And according to legend, from 1817 to 1821, his family and the local area, like the little town, came under attack by a mostly invisible entity that was able to speak, affect the physical environment, and shapeshift.
Oh my God. That's...
And so this entity is the Bell Witch. That's what she became known as. Yeah, so some accounts also say like that this spirit was clairvoyant, which means she could see the future. And there's also some people who say like this spirit could travel long distances with like superhuman speed, or even being in multiple places at once. Oh. So this lady has a lot going on. And so you're just going to have to hang on with me for this one. But I'm just also confused. Like, what is she? She's a witch, a ghost, a shapeshifter, a clairvoyant. Like, I'm just a little bit confused. She's just everything. Every legend, myth, and mystery all in one.
That's what it sounds like. A little bit of every paranormal thing.
Literally.
She's just the paranormal.
That's exactly. Like, paranormal in the dictionary, it's the Bell Witch picture right beside that word.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, in 1894, so like nearly 100 years later, newspaper editor Martin Ingram published his quote-unquote authenticated history of the Bell Witch book. So this book is widely regarded as the first full-length record of the legend, and it's been used as a source for many things that I'll get into later. Now, the book, of course, does have some skeptics, people saying, like, this book is just fiction, whatever. But, so who really knows? But in the book, Martin says that this, like, poltergeist name was Kate, because apparently she claimed to be, quote-unquote, old Kate Batts. So they just, like, assumed Kate Batts was, like, who she was at one point in time. Okay. So, yeah. So this ghost... Kate, that's, I guess, she has so many names, the Bell Witch, Kate, just so many things, but it's all the same, entity, just so no one's confused. So most of this activity that was going on was, for some reason, centered mostly on the Bell's youngest daughter, Betsy, which is, like, super weird. And the ghost, Kate, seemed to become, like, very hateful towards her. Once she became engaged to a local man named Joshua Gardner. So that's kind of like, we're going to dive deeper into it, but like, that's how it started, kind of. Okay. Like, that's how it started going bad, really. So I'm going to rewind the story back to like the very, 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 very first experience that was ever had with the Bell Witch. So we're going back to 1817. So John Bell, the father of this family, witnessed this apparition of a strange creature that he claims like resembled a dog, but like also like more monster looking like dog, but also kind of dog. So he had a gun and he fired at the animal multiple times, but it disappeared. It ran away. And after this night, the Bell family was never the same. Random things started happening on a daily basis. And just a bunch of like, at first it started slow, like with regular, knocks, whispers, typical ghost activity. But then it gets, a little crazier. But before I tell you, what really happened, I do just have to say that John Bell actually is from North Carolina.
Oh,
I know.
okay.
I know. It's crazy. It's like Edgecombe County. Like, I don't know where that is. Somewhere here.
I mean, you said this story was in Tennessee?
It's in Tennessee, yeah.
So it's probably the part that's close to it, or no?
Yeah, probably. I should personally really know this, but I sure don't.
Yeah.
Shout out to you if you're listening in Edgecombe County, North Carolina.
Yeah, shout out.
But anyways, so some of the things that were going on. One of John's sons claimed to hear loud knocks in the house, and like he started hearing the knocks immediately when his dad came back in from shooting at the like creature. So that was a little weird, just already. Okay, and then also at the same time, while the dog incident was going on, Betsy, like the main girl that this ghost like focused on, claimed to see a little girl in a green dress swinging from the limb of an oak tree. I also just got chills because I forgot that this ghost is also in a green dress.
Oh my god.
That's crazy. How do we always do this?
And this is after Theodosia died.
Ugh, stop.
It's her.
It's her. Stop. That's... Ooh. Why are there so many similarities always, Savannah?
Literally.
Crazy. Yeah, so... Yeah, there's just a little girl swinging in a green dress, from an oak tree. That's scary. So... Moving on, after that night, they're still experiencing things. Also, on a horrible note, the Bell family had slaves, and one of their slaves was named Dean, and he claims that he had been followed by a large black dog, like on several different like accounts, while working evenings on the property. And so, like, they kind of think like maybe it's like this dog, quote unquote dog monster, could possibly be the Bell Witch, like, but when she had like shapeshifted, like into the dog to like first scare them. So that's the vibe that people think is going on. At least this family, and people in the town kind of thought they were crazy.
What kind of dog is it?
It's not really a dog. It's like just black, dark, kind of like very skinny, but like medium sized.
Okay.
But like scary eyes, big teeth. More monstery, but like still kind of small.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the family also reports having heard sounds of gnawing on their beds. That right there, I was like, They also claim to hear like invisible dogs fighting. Like there's no dogs fighting anywhere on the property, but they can hear like a dog fight going on. So that's weird. And they also hear chains being drug along the floor. So yeah, progressively this is getting a little bit worse and worse. So after weeks of this stuff all happening, John Bell began to experience paralysis in his mouth. So a day after the paralysis started, all of the Bell children claimed that night, all around the same time, all of their sheets were ripped off of them while they were in bed sleeping.
Oh my god.
All at the same time.
Did they all wake up?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
yes,
you would.
Like, yes, they did. And like they came screaming out of their rooms and like all at the same time. Like literally a horror movie. So that's disgusting. That's like one of my biggest fears. Like if anything was to rip a cover off me while I was laying in bed, I would lose my mind. I might never recover. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, I would almost like just make myself believe that it didn't happen.
I mean, I would have no choice but to do that. But also like, ew, no, I can't even think about it because now I'm going to be freaked out when we go to bed later. Ew.
I know. Don't talk about that.
No. I was scared even writing this story. Anyway, John Bell's kids also reported being pulled by their hair, scratched, slapped, pinched, just really anything awful that they could have experienced, they did. The Bell family, at this point, were like, we have to do something, to try to stop this from happening. Like, we don't know what we did Are we cursed? Are we haunted? What is going on? So they turned to their family friend, James Johnson. And James said that he would stay the night just to see, like, if he could experience anything that they were, or, like, maybe they were just crazy. And so he said that he was awakened by literally all of the same phenomena that the family was describing. And he said that he doesn't want to relive what he went through. So he doesn't, like, give his full story of what all happened. But he did say that he did ask it who it was, and that it responded, quote, "I am a spirit. I was once very happy, but I have been disturbed." Ew.
Oh my
Disgusting.
God. I don't like that.
If anything said that to me, I would run so fast. Like, I would beat all the world records. But that's not where the spirit stopped talking, okay? The spirit apparently kept talking to this man, this family friend. Apparently, she went on to describe that this house was built on an ancient burial ground that was not meant to be disturbed. And then, here is where it gets crazy. The spirit starts preaching religious sermons.
Okay.
Okay, it doesn't really get exactly into what she's saying. And so obviously then after that, this man leaves. Okay.
Yeah, like what religion?
No, I don't know. People, just religious sermons. And I
Okay.
didn't really go into it. There's so much, like, I could probably talk for like 4 episodes of the Bell Witch. There's so
really?
much. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I did not get into it all. They probably said, but I was like, whatever.
Okay.
We don't really get into anything religious on this podcast as much as possible. Anyway. So, oh, actually, no, I see. It's Methodist.
Oh, okay.
Methodist. Sorry.
So we
Literally
do have it.
Read one line down. Yes. Okay. So apparently, so that was all that happened to the family friend that night. And it actually scared him away forever. He was like, I'm not going back. And I don't want to have any part of that. Which would also be me. And also, I feel like that makes it a little bit more believable. Like the fact that that scared him enough, like he didn't go back. Like if it didn't happen.
Yeah. Like I feel like whenever you bring in another person and they believe it too, that's when I start to believe that it's happening.
Exactly. So what's weird is that, so after this, the activity in this family's house keeps happening. But at the same time that stuff is going on in this house, things are happening in this little town. And so one of the weirdest things is that apparently at the same time that this ghost witch, whatever you want to call her, was preaching this sermon to this man in their house, the exact same word for word sermon was being preached by apparently a lady who looked exactly like this witch ghost at the Bethel Methodist Church. And that was 12 miles away from the house. So people have to just assume that she can also duplicate or like clone herself to be in 2 places at once.
She's like projecting herself.
Yeah.
Or so. That's weird.
That's weird. Like, this is weird. Big weird. So
what can this lady, like, what can this thing not do?
That's what I was going to say. What can she not do? What is she? I don't know. Like, this is like truly unexplained phenomena. I don't know what's going on. So yeah. And so then, as if all of that wasn't enough, I forgot to mention that before the man, James Johnson, left the house, after she was preaching the sermon to him, she also apparently started talking some gossip from the other houses in town to this man.
Okay, interesting.
So, like, I feel like whatever is going on here has something to do with this town. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but, like, it ain't good. Okay, it ain't good.
No.
But honestly, that ghost sounds just like me and you. Just talking, gossiping away.
Like, what kind of gossip is she saying, though?
Right, like I'm trying to hear, like, Betsy down the street, like, she's cheating on her husband, Chad.
Right, like...
Those were definitely not the names back in the day, but... Anyways, so, yeah, so as I said, that kind of scared James away from the house permanently. But actually, James's son, John, like, he had known, his dad told him, like, what happened and stuff, and so he actually thought of an idea of how to test the witch. And so he said, like, it was something that nobody would know, like, the answer to other than him and his grandma. And so, like, he asked the spirit this question that only they would know, and apparently she answered the correct answer. And so that he was like, that's enough for me, fam. You knowing that, whatever. And so after that happened, John started telling people, you know, like, hi, I think this, like, witch is, like, real. So, like, a couple of people were trying to come into the house to, like, see for themselves that this witch was real. And I'm like, this is beginning to be just so weird. Like, what's going on, really? But they weren't really letting people in. However, this one man got in contact with them he lived in England, and he, like, really, really badly wanted to come see if it was real. And I guess because he was from England, they were like, that's cool. Like, let's have this England man come. So he traveled literally the whole way so he could experience the house for himself, the witch. And he stayed in the house with them. And in the middle of the night, he heard the voices of his parents saying that they needed help. Oh and God. That's really all that we know that happened to him, because the next morning he was gone when the family woke up, and he wrote a note, like, saying that he heard the voices of his parents, and that they needed help, and that he apologized for his skepticism, and that he would not be back.
Oh my God, what?
I know. So I'm like, ew, what's going on? What's going on?
See, I just don't, I don't know. When these people are saying, like, oh, he used to be skeptical and now he believes because of his experiences.
Yeah,
it's like
I want to experience it. Like,
it's just, oh my God, it, like, scares me when like skeptics are suddenly like, I'm a believer because this stuff's happening to me.
Ugh, I hate it. I hate it. Okay, so I know I've talked, like, really a lot of, like, all the bad things that this witch has done, but there's also been some good. So, you know, I'm gonna shed some light on that. This spirit is said to have displayed a form of kindness, especially toward John Bell's wife, Lucy. And apparently she would call her the most perfect woman to walk the earth. So that's a little bit weird too. You know, keep that in mind, I guess, in the back of your mind. And the spirit would refer to John Bell as Old Jack. And one night, the spirit claimed that she intended to kill him. Okay.
Okay.
So, at this point in time, when she threatened to kill him, the witch had been tormenting this family for 3 years. And so what confuses me the most, I'm like, is this witch a person? A ghost? Like, I guess she's like a ghost, like she just disappears. Like, is she just always in the corner of the house?
Yeah, see, but, like, it seems like at times she is present, like, actually there.
Yeah.
You know? And then sometimes she's more like a ghost.
You're right.
So I just don't get it. That's
Me neither. And I mean, you know what? I guess that's why I'm telling the story.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we don't know the answers. So, you know, she threatened to kill him. It's been 3 years at this point. So it's 1820, and one night, you know, the family went to bed, whatever, normal. The next morning, John Bell was found dead with a small vial of liquid near the bed.
Oh my God.
The spirit proclaimed at this point that she gave John the poison to kill him, just as she said that she would. She said, and that's what I said, and I did it too.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And right after John's death, the witch's activity stopped almost immediately.
Okay.
But the spirit was still active actually in the town for the next year, but then all of the reports of the witch stopped. Yeah. Oh, also, I did forget to mention earlier that she did also tell the Bell family during, like, her torment, like when it was still going on and John was alive, that she would leave them and come back 10 years later. And in the February of 1828, the family that was still remaining on the property, which included Lucy and, like, a couple of the kids, said that she did, in fact, return to haunt the family, but she only stayed for a couple of days.
Okay.
And was never seen again. So, you know, that's crazy. It's like I don't even believe the words that are coming out of my mouth, right? However, I'm going to just make you believe it's real even more by telling you that legend has it that even President Andrew Jackson had an encounter with the Bell Witch.
Seriously?
Yep. So, Andrew Jackson apparently owned property on the Red River, which is where this
Okay,
happened.
also, side note, Andrew Jackson was like the worst.
Actually, I don't know anything about Andrew Jackson, but
Didn't he do the Trail of Tears?
listen, I'm
Native
really bad at
Americans?
history. Okay, I'm really bad.
Okay, I think he was the Trail of Tears with the Native Americans and made them, like, killed a bunch of them.
Okay,
And it
well,
was just, he was awful. But
what I have to say
anyways,
about that is boo Andrew Jackson.
yeah.
Tragically, the Bell Witch did not get him. But she did scare him. So, I'll tell you the story of how she scared him, which is a good thing. So he apparently owned like property on the Red River, which is where, the what's his name? The Bell family lived. And obviously Andrew Jackson had heard the stories of like what was going on in this town. So he wanted to visit and see if the stories are true. And so obviously like the family was like, yeah, sure, you're the president, so come on. And so one of his wagons on the way to the house, like they weren't even at the house yet. But on the way, one of his wagons became stuck by an unseen force. So like the men got out, tried to push it, could not be moved. Just like trying to like, whip the horses to make them go.
Oh, wow.
They wouldn't move. They were not moving. Completely stuck. They even called out some special people to come like look at the wheels and stuff. No one could figure out what was going on. And so Andrew said, apparently, by golly, it's the witch. And I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
did you say that? I don't know. That's just what I imagine he said, But apparently the witch responded then. So like I guess he really did see her. And she said, all right, General, let the wagon move on, but I'll see you again tonight.
Oh my God.
Like, okay, witch, okay. Yeah, and then immediately the wagon started moving again. But they actually did not go to the house. They were like, you know what, that's enough for me, to believe that she's real. So we're just going to go on our merry way. So
Yeah,
she, in fact, did not see him again that night.
Okay.
But I was like, okay, that's crazy. That's crazy. So there is also a Bell Witch cave in Tennessee. Now the cave didn't really play like a big part like in her stories or anything, but the Bell family did have a cave on the property, and that has become like the biggest tourist location today, like because you can just go there.
Okay.
And it was added to the National Historical Registry in 2008, and people actually do still claim to take really eerie pictures and sometimes even hear things in the caves. But no reports of the Bell Witch has been, reported recently. So, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe whatever she is, like, moved on, Yeah, so this whole story, obviously, as if we haven't said it enough, just is very confusing. The first time I read it, I was like, first of all, I think I need to reread it because what's going on? Like, so much is going on. So obviously, if you think about it, people today question if this is real at all. Like, it doesn't really sound that believable to me, but then all these people claim to, have experienced it.
Yeah.
So there are people who have done some research and studies. Apparently, this Dr. Megan Mann, who is a professor at Austin, PA State University, and she like teaches chemistry and like a bunch of other sciences. She actually began researching the Bell Witch back in 2008, and she also was a part of A&E's show called Cursed the Bell Witch, which came out in 2015, which I have not seen, but really need to.
So what is that show? Like, does it just describe
I literally did not even look it up.
Huh.
I don't know why I didn't, but yeah, I'm assuming it's like them trying to find out like if it was real or not. Because I'm going to tell you, like, what they found.
Okay.
So that's what I assume. Anyway, we'll have to check it out and let you know.
Yeah.
But the reason that she became, so interested in this legend was actually because she moved to Robertson County, Tennessee. And she was just, driving on the highway one day to her house, and she spotted the Bell Witch Cave sign driving on the highway. So she was like, I'll Google that when I get home. And she did, and quickly fell down the rabbit hole, of the story of what's going on. And so she was actually able to determine that there is at least, some truth behind this story. So the biggest thing is that John Bell and his family are confirmed real people, and there's records to prove it. I feel like that's one like really big thing that we always like have here is like we'll tell this whole story and be like, but there's no evidence of them actually existing, you know, in the town. But not this one. They 100% were real.
Well, that's cool. I mean, that's good because like sometimes you're right. Like
exactly. Like I feel like most times, honestly.
Yeah.
But no, they
especially since it's like it's not even just that they're like made up or something. It's just like they're such old stories.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
like
and like
you
things
wouldn't
weren't
expect.
documented.
Yeah, or things like caught on fire or was set on fire.
So it's like maybe some of these stories are just like made up people or like they were passed down wrong, you know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
So that's kind of cool that like you can actually trace it back.
Right, and it's so old too. I didn't even think about that. But what really Dr. Mann was most interested in, like, you know, researching more was what John Bell was actually poisoned with, because as I mentioned, she, you know, basically studied chemistry, so she was like the toxicity report or whatever, like that's what we need to look at. But clearly, you know, like death investigation was not where it is today. Not even close. Like, you know, we're not even still doing it perfect today. So, so I talked about some of John's, you know, symptoms from the Bell Witch, right? He said that, you know, mouth paralysis, trouble swallowing, just in general, weird things like around his mouth. And she said that today, like if you were to go to a doctor, that's typically they would just say like something is going on neurologically. And they would just send him to like a neurologist, like to get him tested.
Yeah.
But as I already said, it's the 1800s, so you know they did not say that. They did not, you know, do that at all. So, in the death investigation report or whatever, you know, it was actually said that the poison bottle was left with the family, which would never happen today, you know. And his death was just, you know, ruled. I don't even know what it was ruled. You know, there's not really any records.
See, that's just so suspicious because it's like they could have just said anything and they just believed them.
Exactly. So since this bottle was left with his family, right? They apparently they came out with books later, all of his children, you know, like describing like what they experienced. So that also adds, you know, another whole level of like real to the story.
Yeah.
And in it, they were like, we like knew we had to just, you know, get rid of it, you know. So they decided to throw it in a fire to get rid of it and like burn it away. And they did like a whole like ceremony or, you know, whatever, because that's sad, obviously. And the whole family was there. And when they threw the thing in the fire, the flame turned blue. So if you know anything about chemistry, when a flame turns a different color, it means that there's like some other element that's like not just like of a random, like the normal fire elements that's in it. And I studied chemistry a lot when I was in college, and my favorite element to burn was potassium because it turns the flame purple. Just so you know. A little fun fact for you. But the fact that, you know, it turned blue when they threw it in there, as well as John's neurological like symptoms.
Yeah.
All of these symptoms today equal heavy metal poisoning.
Well, yeah.
Clearly. Yeah. So Dr. Mann looked at this theory, looked at what elements would cause a flame to turn blue, and that ended up being 10. So, you know, the list is getting narrowed down. And the most common poisons of the 10 were arsenic and lead. So the lead poisoning is what was tested first, and they concluded that he would have survived the lead poisoning given the amount that he had. So then they went on to the arsenic, and his symptoms line up perfectly for arsenic poisoning. So basically, she was able to prove to at least herself that it was arsenic poisoning.
I feel like arsenic was the number one. That was the one poison you would turn to. That's
what I was going to say, especially actually at this time. Arsenic poisoning was like so common, and I'll get into it in a little bit. Few more bullets ahead.
Yeah.
But Dr. Mann actually believes that he was receiving small doses of arsenic for like a long time until literally for the whole 3 years. That's what was making him sick. And on the night of his death, he received a fatal dose of it. So interesting. And so, like I said, and like you said, at this time, arsenic poisoning was kind of popping off. It was so big that it was in the 1820s that arsenic poisoning specifically became a written law to be illegal. Like, you could not arsenic poison anyone, which, should be,
Okay. Was that not already a thing?
Like, no. No, it really wasn't. So,
but like killing somebody is illegal. So
yeah, but specifically poisoning was like worse.
Okay.
Like, like intent to kill, felony murder.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, you couldn't say, "Oh, it was an accident."
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I see.
Yeah. So, the question that I'm left with is, who poisoned him? The witch? Like, maybe it was this witch, and we will never truly have the answer. Okay. But Dr. Mann claims, this is just a blanket statement, okay, that historical evidence shows that at the time, arsenic poisoning was a very big trend within groups of abused wives. So I'm not putting any blame on Lucy Bell, okay, John's wife. I'm not saying it was her. But what if it was?
I mean, that makes it sound like it could have been her.
Okay, so I just want to give Taylor's theory. This is no one else's theory but mine. Okay, if we think back to the story, she said that the Bell Witch was only nice to Lucy. And remember, she called her the most beautiful woman on the planet.
Yeah.
Okay, and then slowly being poisoned over time. I don't know. I'm just saying, to me, I feel like Lucy seems a little bit suspicious. And the kids were like kids, They're going to believe what their parents tell them. I don't know if that's the truth. I don't want to put any blame on anybody, but that's just personally what I think maybe possibly happened. But also, I don't know. All these other people experienced all these weird things. So, like, it was either this crazy being exists and who knows where it is now, or this family was pulling some strings.
Or what if it actually was real, right?
Okay.
But part of it was just her using that as an excuse.
Okay, yeah.
She could kill her husband.
Okay.
And stuff.
Yeah, that's that. Oh, yeah, a mix of the two.
Yeah.
That's, option C, if you will. So, yeah, I mean, I surely don't know the answer. Everything is a little bit suspicious to me, if you ask me.
Also, I do have a theory on, like, why it went after the Bell family and Andrew Jackson.
Okay, why? Because they're racist?
Yeah.
Well, I hope
because they're bad people.
Yeah, because they suck. Yeah.
They all
had slaves.
Literally slave owners and just bad people.
You know what? That's a really good point. That is
it's karma.
Really, really good point. It is karma. So, you know what? Justice is served. Gavel on the table.
Exactly.
But yeah, that is the legend of the Bell Witch.
Wow.
Da-da-da. It was crazy. That was a crazy one.
That one is crazy. Because, like, I don't know. It was like paranormal. And then it's like arsenic poisoning.
I know.
What?
I know. There was also some shape shifting in there. Like, she could have been the dog, too. I don't know what was going on with that.
Yeah, see, that whole thing was just like, okay. It's just throwing everything into the mix.
Right. Like, just add every single legend there ever was into this potion.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well.
I know. But great. Go check out our Instagram. You'll see pictures from our trip that will be in my personal feature in your personal present. So that's crazy. But hopefully, we have some good pics. Hopefully we see Theodosia on the beach.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping.
We could.
That'd be so crazy. I'd sing her the song from Hamilton and she wouldn't know what I'm singing. She'd be like, why is there a song about me? I'd be like, hear me out. Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote a whole play. A whole Broadway musical. I can't. But yeah. Also, go rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, please. We love to read them. But other than that, I don't really have anything else this week. What about you?
Yeah, no, not me.
All right, well, I guess we will see you guys next week.
Okay, cue the music.